Guys, welcome to another CRO pod. Today with us is Anupreet Singh. He is CRO at Gan.ai. Anupreet, can you briefly introduce yourself? Tell us a bit more about Gan.ai.
Thank you so much, Charles, for having me on this podcast. My name is Anupreet. As Charles just introduced, I'm currently the Chief Revenue Officer at Gan.ai. Been in the SaaS industry for around 7-8 years now, leading different revenue teams, scaling them up from the scratch has been my forte. Unique part about my career is that I've been building sales team out of India that sell to the US, and been fairly successful at that. Been a part of 2 exits in the last 6 years, 2 American giants. One was Metal that got acquired by Mercer, and the other was Slintel that got acquired by 6Sense. So on to my third startup journey as the Chief Revenue Officer of Gan.ai. Gan.ai is a video personalization platform. Think of it as a superpower that can let you record one video, which you can then distribute to millions of people with variables changed. So think of it as mail merge on top of videos. A superpower that you didn't have all this while you were recording each video individually. While with Gan, you can potentially just record one video, select variables, and just change the variables as if it was mail merge in your audio, your voice, and your lip sync. Pretty unique in itself and works like charm. The only video personalization tool that really works literally is Gan.ai right now.
Interesting. Yeah, that seems pretty futuristic right there. What about basically your last startup, Slintel? Tell us a bit more about that one.
Yeah, sure. Slintel is a sales intelligence platform, a direct competitor to ZoomInfo, if I have to summarize what it does in one sentence. But having said that, the main moat for Slintel was its technographics, which is finding customers of your competitors, finding customers of your integration partners, and using that as an intelligence to build your account lists and reach out to people fairly with their emails and phone numbers derived from the platform. I would say one of the most accurate database out there in the market, and we were growing pretty fast. We scaled up from around $0 to $5 million in 2 years in the middle of pandemic. 6Sense saw some great value in collaboration, and 6Sense acquired the company sometime late 2021. And that was a fantastic exit for us because it was a perfect acquisition in a way that very little tech debt. 6Sense was great at orchestration, and Slintel was great at data. And when you bring both of these things together, you have really meaningful intent that a lot of marketers and sellers can take, can get value out of. And with the customer base that 6Sense had, Slintel got a home where enterprise companies got access to, very good quality database without having to spend so much more on a platform like ZoomInfo externally. They got a database in, homegrown within 6Sense ecosystem. So it was a great exit and a great acquisition, I would say. And, spent around 1 year with 6Sense after the acquisition, and then moved on to work at Gan.
So did they give you shares at Slintel? How was that exit for you financially?
It was good. I definitely had some equity in the company. I was the 7th employee and the head of sales at the time when I joined, and at the time when I left, I was heading go-to-market, for the company at large. Definitely, had a fancy exit. While I had decent equity in 6Sense as well. So if I had continued for 4 years, 6Sense is doing fantastic, and I would have probably made some extra money when they would have gone IPO. But I decided to leave after 1 year because I like to stay in relatively smaller setups, and I really like the whole $0 to $10 million journey more than the $100 to $500 million journey, I would say. So that is where 6Sense was, and so after spending 1 year at 6Sense, I realized I'll go back to the startup ecosystem.
Right. And what about Blurry Foods? You also exited that one, you got acquired. Tell us a bit more about that one before we jump into 6Sense.
Blurry was this weekend side project of my then girlfriend, now wife, and she, that's how we met. Both of us were trying to crack into the FMCG space with a spices business, in a very untraditional way, which is that instead of selling spices directly to consumers, we were selling spices to chefs. in a way that chef could come to our kitchen, decide what is the right mix and blend of, what they need to really create. And then, like if they have multi-restaurant, kind of setups, then they decide the recipe in our kitchen. And then we make sure that the spices are blended in that exact composition and distributed to the entire country, every restaurant that this head chef kind of controls in his ecosystem, so that, you have very little control, very little risk of, having different taste in different outlets. So that is what we were solving for. We had some large conglomerates that had 100, 200 outlets in the country, where the head chef would come in, decide the composition of the recipe of at in our kitchen, and we would just pick up what the right composition of different spices and blends is, and give those spices to different kitchens across the board. My wife was running it, and I was just helping her with the sales over the weekends. And it was a fairly small manufacturing unit that we had. And during pandemic, because all the restaurants shut down, we realized that there's no point really trying to continue to hustle in this business. So we got a decent exit in that business, and an organics food company acquired us.
Interesting. Now 6Sense, heard a lot of things about them. I forgot, I think it was like Shadow Funnel or something like that. Explain the technology behind it and why it can be so relevant for sales teams.
So 6Sense, historically was originally made for marketing teams, for account-based marketing. So like most of the marketers today, if they're not using 6Sense, or if they're not using any kind of ABM platform, then they're kind of hitting they're kind of shooting in the dark. They're kind of, spraying and praying, so they would reach out to like tens of thousands of accounts, hundreds of thousands of leads every month, and hope that some leads, sign up, and kind of, sign up for a demo and come in. 6Sense provides like this intelligence so that you can, funnel those tens of thousands of accounts into like a few hundred accounts that have highest priority or highest intent to buy. And then, they give you this beautiful platform that helps you reach out to them from all angles. So, you send them some kind of a gift at some point, using some kind of gifting integration, you show your ad at the right time, at the right place on Google and social media platforms, etc. You send them the email, nurture drip campaign at the right time to this account. So you're kind of, to those high intent accounts, you're reaching out at the right time with the right messaging through the whole 6Sense, orchestration platform. And Slintel is the, platform that was originally for sales. And now 6Sense for sales uses Slintel's, data and Slintel's UI UX to be able to like provide these emails and phone numbers to SDRs and account executives that are searching for those either through a LinkedIn, Chrome extension, or through, their CRM integrations, etc. So they can enrich their CRM with like high quality emails and phone numbers in this whole process. So now 6Sense is serving both sales and marketing teams.
Yeah, quite powerful. How's their price? Has it changed? Because back in the days it was like $15,000 one shot or something like that. Has that changed, or?
I think it really varies between, based on what kind of features you require and how many seats you require, and things like that. So I would say that typically it would probably start at that kind of price point, maybe a little higher than that, and would go into like six figures, for an enterprise company that really wants to use it for their entire organization. So those are the typical contract sizes for 6Sense.
Interesting. Then I want to talk about your advisor role at RevGenius. So what does that entail on paper? Like, what's the deal?
So I think it's more like a friendly transaction between Jared and me. So Jared is a very good friend of mine, and I, more than anything, I learned everything from the community, I would say. So like I'm not an MBA in sales. I've hardly learned any sales or marketing in my education. I'm an engineer, and I learned everything about sales, I would say, from LinkedIn, from like people around me, from my team members. And I really wanted to give it back. After you get an exit or two, you make enough money to be a little bit philanthropic in your approach. And so, I like to give back to the community, and like, this is my way of giving back to the community, because I think that Jared is doing some great job for RevGenius. And, a lot of SDRs are really learning the ropes of sales, and prospecting from him and his community. And I try to contribute in whatever ways I can. So every now and then, Jared and I would get on a call, discuss any upcoming projects, any upcoming, ideas that he has to like scale up the community. If I think there's this cool tool that Jared should be talking about or his community should be using, etc., or if I can get him a free access to some tool for his community, I try to contribute. But it's not really a financial transaction there. It's more like, my love for the community. And since he's putting in all the effort, I would just be an outsider trying to contribute in whatever ways I can to like bump up the community's knowledge.
That's pretty cool. I love the type of deal there. What about Gan.ai Capital? So you're an advisor there, I guess. You have shares or something like that. You're a partner.
So Gan.ai Capital is a VC firm. I'm a venture partner there. So typically a venture partner's role is that venture partner is usually not full time, so they don't have a permanent salary. Typically in most arrangements, you typically get like some kind of I would say carry in a transaction that you participated in, or on the overall deal that the overall transactions that the VC firm did while you were under your watch. Let me just put it that way. So I kind of head up all the SaaS investments that they do. So it's a micro fund. So they don't have expertise, I would say, in SaaS particularly. So I kind of come in as a SaaS expert to any investments that Gan.ai Capital is looking at, and I would not just vet the deals for them and decide whether we want to invest or not, but I also act as an advisor or a friend, I would say, to all the companies that we invest in through Gan.ai Capital. So if they need access to me for any kind of GTM support, any kind of strategy, any kind of marketing support, etc., I'm always there to help them out with those kind of things. So it's that is more like, I would say, commission on the money that Gan.ai makes under my watch.
Nice. So all right, so you do GTM for their startups, and do you also help with scouting and vetting the startup if they're in the GTM field?
If it's the SaaS company, yes.
Okay.
Only for the SaaS portfolio. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. How did you get in touch with them? How did they hear about you?
So they reached out to me. Like I am one of very few people in India that has really cracked SaaS from India to US. And like they really wanted access to me in terms of helping them. I'm also an angel investor, so some of my deals have really worked out really well, and they were also noticing that I invested in a few companies, and I'm an angel at a company called Rattle. They are right now at a post Series A stage. They're doing fantastically well. I am an angel at SpendFlow, another company, that is doing really, really well. So Gan.ai noticed that I have access to some really good deals, and I'm picking some really good startups or SaaS companies out of India. And so Gan.ai is also based out of India and wanted access to my expertise and my network of SaaS portfolio companies so that they could potentially come in as a micro VC check. Typically, they sign around 100K to 250K checks wherever they like a company. I can't hear you. I think, Charles, you're on mute.
Sorry. What startups in India have you invested in and that are quite impressive?
I think the two big ones, like I just mentioned, are Rattle and SpendFlow, which both have gone to raise their Series A's. Both have announced their Series A rounds. Some of the other investments are not public yet, so I can't.
What do they do exactly?
But,
what's impressive about them?
So Rattle is really this, this platform that helps you integrate your Salesforce to Slack. So you don't have to log into your Salesforce, like everyone else, I hate logging into Salesforce. And so this Rattle is a platform that would just come to me on Slack and be like, hey, Anupreet, you had these 5 meetings today. Can you update them for me? And I would just answer the, questions that it's asking me on Slack, and it'll go and update my Salesforce. And at the same time, as the head of revenue, it would come to me and tell me that, hey, Anupreet, today like 5 more deals got added, two deals got closed, and these 3 deals got lost. You might want to go deeper into these 3 deals, and I can potentially look at the reasons from Slack itself and ping my rep that, hey, looks like these 3 deals got lost, what's going on, etc. So it really brings Salesforce to me and takes my information and puts it back into Salesforce if I have to really explain it simply. Allows me to create deal rooms if I need to, so it's a pretty solid tool that works as a great interface between Salesforce and Slack. So I don't have to really log into Salesforce neither as a rep nor as a leader. So all of my interface is actually on Slack. Pretty solid that way. Spendflow is actually very relevant for today's time because they are helping reduce SaaS spends for companies. So in today's time, when there's recession going on, Spendflow is really doing this novel task of going to the CFOs and telling them that, hey, you're spending a little too much on SaaS. These are some tools, these are some licenses that are not being used in your company. You are overpaying for these tools. Our insights tell us that you should be, renewing at around 50% discount to what you're actually paying. So they have this, really good, insightful, data of what a particular tool costs, what is the fair market value of each tool out there. And then they also have negotiators that can go on your behalf and crack deals for you. And then at the same time, they also have a cool product that helps you figure out what are the, extra seats across the, SaaS tools that are not being really used in your organization. So very, very relevant kind of tool. I invested in Spendflow in their seed round. I was a mentor to them while they were under the Axel Atoms program, which is more like a equivalent to Sequoia Search, where companies can come in and get my mentorship from the mentors of Axel. So I'm kind of a mentor to Axel in their Axel Atoms program, and they got funded by Axel eventually, both in their seed and their Series A rounds. So I invested when they were at their seed stage.
Okay, and the average check you got is like 50, 100K? Is that like...
No. I'm not that rich.
Okay, 10,
my
10,
average
50K?
is around 10, 15K. Yeah, my average is between 10 to 20K. Yeah.
Okay, and let's say that they exit in 5 to 10 years from now. Like, do you expect a 10x return, a 5x return? What are your expectations?
I mean, I'm a very new angel investor, so I'm happy with anything above 10x. I'm a little aspirational at the same time, because anyone who did angel investment in Slintel before seed round probably made 100x in the exit. So I would love to get like 100x in at least one of my investments that way, because at least I have contributed towards their 100x's when they have invested in my companies in the past. But I mean, I'm aiming for at least 100x in my life, but at least a 10x is what I expect, given the risk involved in any angel investment.
Right. No, Slintel was quite special. It was a cool company, and we're seeing more and more of these companies in India. What are your thoughts about Freshworks as a company?
Oh, Freshworks is solid. Freshworks, I would say, is the company that any Indian company looks up to. So Freshworks is that first company that kind of started it all for everyone else. In the Indian SaaS ecosystem. I probably won't be exaggerating if I say that at least 25 Series A companies have started out of the Freshworks ecosystem.
Wow.
Their ex-employees, etc., would have started those many companies. And like Freshworks employees, their CEO altogether would have invested in at least 100 to 150 Indian startups. So like that's the scale at which Freshworks has really contributed to the ecosystem. So massive respect for what Girish has built, massive respect for Freshworks a core team, and they're doing pretty well. They're giving like some good competition to the good stiff competition to the American companies out there. So very proud to see an Indian company really going there and turning out to be a market leader in their category.
Love it. Now let's get to Gan.ai, because we've got 5 minutes left. What's the nature of the deal that you're seeking for as a CRO that you would advise? Is it like, hey, I'm going to come as a CRO, you're going to pay me at least 6 figures, and I'm going to get like 1%-ish per year of the shares? Is that what it looks like, or is that too or not generous enough as a deal?
So it really depends on where you are in your career. If cash matters more to you, or does equity matters more to you. So like by the time I joined Gan, I was pretty satiated with my cash component in my life, and I had my expenses covered and my savings sorted. And so like I took a massive pay cut from 6Sense to Gan, But I obviously bumped up, the equity component of it to kind of, be long and invested in the company and, have my skin in the game. So when I joined like early stage company, I kind of try to have as much skin in the game as possible. And if I can exchange some of my cash component with my equity, I definitely do. And as, the company expands into the Series A, B stages, you can always take care of your fixed component at that stage. So basically, the kind of career that I've had, I joined pre-seed. I leave post A or B. So basically, like your salary is like pretty fancy at the time of Series A, Series B. A pre-seed company can't really pay you that salary. So you take a massive pay cut, but you take decent equity. You take it again to Series A, B. Your salary becomes decent again, and then you decide if you want to keep that salary coming in or you want to take another bet. So I mean, that's the kind of, I think that's been working out for me. I'm not sure what others do really. I don't have like decades of experience. I'm pretty young. I like to believe I'm pretty young for the roles that I've been doing. So I think it's been working out for me. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I usually don't long on the cash. I usually try to go long on the equity component of it.
Now, tell us a bit more about Gan itself, because it looks quite interesting. I'll certainly demo it. What's the price point to send these personalized videos at scales? There seem to be other competitor. I tested one on Product Hunt, I think it was 2 weeks ago or something like that. And obviously we're gonna see more and more. There's Synthesia. They don't do it exactly this. It's not really for sales and personalized videos 1v1. Vidyard could get in that game. Like, what's your thoughts on the pricing, the competition, and where you guys place into that full market, that quadrant?
That's an excellent question. So we feel that our biggest moat is our technology. Our founder, Suvrat, is an ex-Stanford, graduate who ended up working at the Facebook research team, and then started GAN. The tech that we built took like around 2 years of our time, and so we've not just entered market. We have be the most prominent player in the Indian ecosystem. We started our product market fit in the B2C companies in India. So we work with the likes of Samsung, in India. We work with top, B2C companies across industries. We work with the top real estate developer in India. We work with the top food delivery company in India. We work with the top two-wheeler companies, four-wheeler companies in India. So you name an industry, we're already like having like some really big logos in India. And with this mature technology, we've entered the US market. In the US market, while our enterprise sales team will still focus on B2C companies, but my heart and soul lies with B2B companies and their SDRs, because that's what I was doing when I was at Slintel. So we built this tool for SDRs, which is pretty, while our enterprise tool probably starts at around $15,000-$20,000 per year, we built a tool at $350 per month for SDRs to come in and try our platform without any annual commitment so far. We've not done a product hunt launch purposely because we're seeking all the feedback from these SDRs and putting it into our product so that, when we launch, it is better than the tool that you've probably tested out 2 weeks back. Most of the tools that we've tested out in the market don't work, and I'm not exaggerating it. Probably, if the founders of those tools are hearing this, we were embarrassed at the quality at which these tools are, and we did not launch the product when we were at that stage. It's always good to launch, early. You get some quick feedback, and then you can improve. But we are probably 2 years, ahead when it comes to the accuracy and pronunciation of, the words that we are personalizing. And just for the audience to understand, there are two kinds of tools in this ecosystem when it comes to video personalization. One use avatars and one use real humans in the video. So right now, we're not in the avatar game. We strongly believe that the real value for the use case that we're solving for sales and marketing lies in the real person being in the video, so that the recipient feels that you've taken the pain to actually record the video versus just typing in the text and getting the output. So Synthesia is great for content creators, while GAN is great for, sales and marketing teams. Like this is how I would spread the market. So I would say, like, if you're a content creator, buy Synthesia, create avatars and upload your script and, get your content created, like an explainer video or, your L&D content. But if you're a marketer and if you're serious about, using videos in a personalized way, get a brand ambassador, get your CEO to record one video, and we'll use the brand ambassador, the CEO, or your SDR as the face of the video, and we'll personalize the next million copies for you with the variables change with inch perfect voice cloning and inch perfect lip sync. That's what we do.
Right. And last but not least, what are your objectives as the CRO? Like how much you want to generate, let's say in Q3, Q4 this year? And what outreach strategy or GTM strategy are you using to achieve these goals?
So I'm an inbound first kind of a person, even though I've been selling to the SDRs for the longest time, but I myself personally like inbound more than the hustle of outbound. While we built an outbound muscle and it's working out pretty fine for us, I also like to over-index on inbound and try and get those early leads in from organic as well as paid sources through inbound channels. And so the initial, few months is to set up that muscle so that the lead flow takes care of itself in the future, and we have like a repeatable motion wherein we can pump in the money and get like a meaningful CAC revenue out of it. In the first 1 year, to answer your first question, the aim is to like scale, at a 2x pace quarter on quarter. And we literally started our revenue journey only like 6 months back, so we're in the very very early 6-digit figures in terms of our revenue, but the idea is to keep doubling up in every quarter and scale it up to like at a stage where we can probably raise our Series A in the next like 12 to 18 months.
Got it. That's quite exciting. Well, thank you so much for coming in today, Anu. Where can people find out more about you and Gan.ai?
I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. Anyone who is looking to connect with me can please connect with me on LinkedIn, ask any specific questions that were unanswered on this question or didn't answer in the most elaborative fashion. Gan.ai can be accessed on Gan.ai. That's our domain name, and please check us out. We're coming up with some really exciting news in the coming weeks, and we'll be launching on Product Hunt for the SDRs in the next couple of weeks as well. So, till then, if you want to test out the platform, please, buzz me on LinkedIn and I'll be happy to set you up.
Love it. Well, thank you.